Alright, hello everyone, my name is Joe Scorson, channel is called Ethernet Link, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to get indicators, custom indicators on option contracts in QuantConnect. Now, my hiatus from YouTube should be relatively over now that my semester is over, but yeah, it's been super busy with that, and I do have an update at the end of the video, something pretty cool for you guys that you might enjoy. So, the way that we're going to do this is I have the QuantConnect project open on my other screen. We're going to talk about that for a little bit, and I'll put a link to the code in the description. I'm not going to be coding it right now. I feel like when I do that, it becomes more so about the strategy and not so much about the actual framework around the code, which is what this is about. So if I were to change that, there we go. We can see the screen right here. And so we're just going to go through. We're actually going to start with the custom indicator and then go from there. So all this custom indicator is a moving average, and there's a few things in here that we need to pay attention to. So we have our custom indicator, it's a Python indicator. We have our initializer, we just give it a name, a default value, our period, the length, and then we have a queue, which is pretty much like a rolling window. You can think of it like that. So in our indicator, we have two functions. We have update and we have this is ready. Let's go over update first. So update needs an input. What are we updating this with? We're going to require that these inputs be quote bars, and that'll be important for later. But yeah, we're going to require that these are quote bars, and so if it's not an instance of a quote bar, we're going to raise an error, and the custom indicator input must be a quote bar, yada yada. And then to make an input a simple moving average, it's just we're going to append the close, and then the value is the sum of all the closes over the period, just taking the average. And then we're going to return this is ready, this property. That's basically just going to make sure that we have enough values in our queue, whatever length we want it to be, and then we can access our value. So that's our custom indicator. This is just how you make a simple moving average in QuantConnect. Simple stuff. So now let's go to the initialize and then go from the top down. So in our initialize, we just have our start and end dates, set cache, standard stuff for QuantConnect. Now we have our ticker, which is QQQ in this case. You can make it whatever you want. This isn't so much about the actual strategy, but more so how to code things with a strategy like this, where you want an indicator on your option contract and on your underlying, and also how to consolidate those into different time frames. So we have that. We have our resolution. We have a variable to store our equity symbol and our option symbol. And then here, we're pretty much just going through, we're adding the actual equity to QuantConnect. We're setting the data normalization to raw, we just need that for options. Adding the options, setting a filter, we want 5 out of the money contracts, 30 to 45 days to expiration. And then we're just going to store those symbols in here. Now these two consolidator variables are for consolidating our minutely bars into half-hour bars. That's just what I chose arbitrarily for this video. But yeah, and then we have a look back and a look back for our options, and then just a variable to store our call in. So just standard stuff, adding our equity and our options and storing the value in some variables. Cool. So now let's actually make our indicator like we had below. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a consolidator for 30-minute time bars for triple Q. This is where this gets important, is that we can't do something like this for the option contract. You can see here, this is the only line that we need for our option contract, and we're going to go into that later. But for an underlying, it'll be intuitive. We just have to make our consolidator, make our actual indicator, give it a name, give it a length, and then we're just going to register the indicator with triple Q, this indicator, what it actually is, which indicator it actually is, and what consolidator. And then we're going to subscribe to the consolidated data. We're basically going to tell it only update with consolidated data. So now, for the indicator for our option, we're just going to create an indicator. We're going to say, just make this indicator. We're going to worry about updating it later. Risk management, just for the sake of having this be somewhat realistic. But yeah, you don't really need it for this right now, just because it's a simple strategy, not even really a strategy. It's just something to show you how to code something like this. So next in our on data, we're going to check if our symbol has data, if like it's not, if we actually have information about it. If we don't have information about it, we try to access it, we get errors. So that's why we have this line here. We're going to check and see if if we have any options invested in our portfolio. We're going to store it in this list. And then we're just going to go through if we have any options in there that are going to expire within 7 days, solve them, right? And now we have this function right here, update indicators. We're giving it data, an option symbol from above, our underlying indicator, and our option indicator. And the reason I did it like this is because this is the easiest way I found to do it for multiple symbols. Obviously this algorithm only has triple Q in it, but if you ever wanted to have another symbol, you would just have to put this in a for loop, and you would have to put this in a for loop. And then because you actually want to keep track of everything, I don't think you'd be able to for loop this stuff. If anybody finds a way to do it, let me know, because I would love to see that, because that would make it to be a lot less lines of code. But yeah. So let's check out what this update indicators function actually does, because it's going to get called every time on data gets called. And the reason that we do this is so that way, if we ever wanted to do this with multiple symbols, it'll be way easier to do it like this, as opposed to if we just shoved all of this into on data. I think, anyway. If you find a way to do it in a different way, cool. I'm going to put this in a discussion, drop that back to us, drop it, let's see how it goes. But yeah, let's take a look at this update indicators right now. So we have our self, of course, data, our option symbol, underlying indicator, and our call indicator. So standard stuff to just get option chains, where this is only a call strategy, kind of for the sake of to let you guys work through it yourself and get puts. You know, it's pretty simple. You just have to make another indicator, store the variables correctly, and then somewhere like here, you would just have to say puts gets I for I in chain if I dot right equals option dot put. You know what I mean? You just have to sort it like that, and then do all this stuff for everything else. But so, yeah, we simply have our list, get the option chain for whatever option symbol, right? Get value for whatever option symbol. That's what I mean. If we want to use different symbols, it'll get way easier, because we could say option symbol triple Q and then option symbol SPY. Excuse me. That's why that would be easier. So if we have no calls for it, do nothing. And then if we do have calls for it, excuse me, again, sort it by the strike to make sure that we're always getting the closest to the money contract. So if we don't have any calls, just return as well. And if we do have calls, we're going to select the first one, that's our the money call. Now, if our indicators do not exist yet, return. Do nothing. Well, not if they don't exist. If they're not ready, meaning they don't have 20 or whatever values in our look back information in each, bars in each, right? So if they do exist, if they are ready, then we have our long condition. We want to make sure that our securities close, not our securities, and our underlyings close is above our underlying indicator value, and our at the money call symbols ask price is above the call indicator value. If we're not already long a call and that condition is met, by 6. All that's going on here. Now you might be asking yourself, where do we actually update this call indicator? That seems like it'd be pretty important. And you're right, it is. So because I wanted to show you guys how to do it with a consolidator, you're not always going to be working with 1-minute bars, right? If you're actually going to make a real trading strategy to put in production, you're going to need trades to last 2-3 weeks. And that'll be a shorter trade if you actually want to trade with size. So an easy way to do that, I think, is to just zoom out and trade with longer time frames. So we have this is pretty much just straight from QuantConnect documentation about how to consolidate stuff. Of course, every single consolidator is a quote bar for our indicator, and because options, if I remember correctly, you just get more information about bid ask, size, and stuff like that if you use a quote bar. So that's just why I chose it. I'm not even sure if you can get option trade bars, but don't quote me on that. That's not important for right now. But so, yeah, every time that we consolidate a 30-minute bar, we're going to call this function on data consolidated. And so if the call exists, then we're going to go through and we're going to see which quote bar did we get. Did we get a quote bar for the option or for the indicator, right? And so we actually, I don't even think we really need this line right here because we subscribed to everything earlier. I'm super curious what will happen if, actually, I'm going to do it like this. I'm super curious what will happen if we don't have this line in there. It should still work. But by contrast, we need to have this line in here. We need to check if our quote bar is our at the money call symbol. And if that's the case, we need to update our indicator with this right here because as we see above, we're not subscribed to anything. We just made it, so we're updating it manually. I'm super curious if this will work still, but I just explained pretty much how this algorithm works and how it connects everything. So these are our first backtest. I'm curious to see if this one works as I run it. We'll look through this. This is from January 21st to present pretty much. And we can see it pretty much just looks like triple Q. And this one, of course, it's just buying calls in a bull run right here. So of course it'll do well. But, and yeah, it does work the exact same way pretty much. Yeah. So you don't need this line at all, which is kind of cool. And what's also cool is that it'll work the same, maybe slightly different. Yeah, it is different, slightly different, slightly better actually. So that's a good little bug I just found. I didn't realize I did that. But yeah, this is there we go. That's from 23 to that. Yeah, you squeeze out another 3% just because of a little fundamental bug. 67% win rate. Of course, you're buying calls on a bull market. This isn't about the actual strategy, more so about the framework. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this little tutorial going over this code. I tried to make it short and sweet. This is just 12 minutes. So yeah, if you made it to the end, thank you so much. If you made it to the end, now you get to see about something else. So I started this with 2 partners. It's called Prometheus Analytics. We make TradingView indicators. So if you guys want to learn more about this, I'll have the Twitter linked in the description. We post things all the time. We just got affiliate links. So you guys could subscribe and make some extra money if you get your friends to subscribe as well. $50 a month, $500 a year. And if you have a Discord and you want to integrate our bots into that, let us know. Still in its infancy, only 2 reviews. These guys are killing it in the Discord right now. We don't have, like, you're not actually getting my plays or anything like that. We're simply giving you the indicators, and then we have rooms for the indicator alerts from TradingView. If that's something that you think would interest you, check it out in the description. If not, no harm done. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any ideas, you guys want me to make something, let me know in the comments. I will try to get to that, especially because now, as my semester ended, I got time for a lot of stuff right now. You're probably looking behind me like, dude, you should probably clean your room, but that's the way that life goes. Like I said before, if you have any questions, you want anything from me, you want me to make anything, just let me know. Try out this algorithm for yourself, change it up, use different indicators, find different edges in using option indicators as well as the underlyings. And yeah, check out my personal Twitter, check out Prometheus's Twitter in the description. I will post a link to the discussion I'll make for the, if you guys want the code. And yeah, that'll be all. Hope you guys have a blessed day. Hope you guys have a great summer. That's it. Have a good one. I'll see you guys.